back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be discussing Plant Care 101 on a specific plant, and this week's plant is going to be the Sansevieria Laurentii. Another name that people may call this plant is the Dracaena trifasciata. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it properly, but some people will. This is part of the Asparagaceae family, which is the same family as the Dracaenas. This variety of Sansevieria is probably one of the more common Sansevierias that you will find in most stores, Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot. A lot of garden centers will have this plant easily accessible. It's a crowd favorite just because of its easy ability to be taken care of. It's stunning. The green and the yellow, the way that they kind of contrast each other, I think it's absolutely stunning, and I think it's a great beginner plant for somebody who's not really sure of what their house can handle. Start there. Start with the Sansevieria. Any variety would be great, but Laurentii is probably one of the most accessible varieties. A little bit of information you may want to know about this plant is it's very hardy. As I was saying, it's really easy to grow. It can be indoors or outdoors. If you are going to have it outdoors though, you need to be in a climate where it does not freeze or get lower than 50 to 60 degrees at night. It doesn't like the cold very much, but you can have it indoors in any home and it will just do fantastic no matter where you are. The origin of this plant, it is from West Africa, from Nigeria, east to the Congo. That is the little bit of information that I got on it. The growing style of this plant, it is an upright growing plant. It's only gonna grow upwards. It will shoot out baby pups kind of throughout this, like from the dirt off to the side. But it only spreads out to be about maybe a foot and a half. And it will grow to be about 3 feet. If it's in the ground, it can grow the leaves to be about 3 feet tall, about maybe 2 to 2.5 inches wide. This plant's most active growing season is in the spring and summer. It does not produce flowers like regularly. It's actually very seldom that will produce a flower. If it does do it for you though, it will probably do it in the summer, and the flower is kind of just like a spike that will come out of the base of the plant, and it'll have like little white flowers just kind of up the top of the stem. It's really pretty if you do see it, like just a bunch of little baby flowers. They last about a day and then they fall off. And I suppose some other things you may want to know is how to take care of this plant in your home or outside if you do have it, with some light needs, water needs, any other possible care needs you may have. For light, this plant can tolerate full sun, but not in the summertime probably, because the sun in the summertime just can be a little harsh for it. So I usually recommend a bright indirect area for it, somewhere it can get really bright light but not direct sun rays. It can also grow in not complete darkness, but it could grow in a darker area of your home where it may not be right next to a window, maybe a little further into the living room or bedroom, wherever you have it may be. They do very well in bathrooms because they do like a little bit higher humidity but don't need it to survive. They do like an average temperature of about 60 to 75 degrees if they are in your home. As I said before, they don't like freezing temperatures or super duper hot temperatures. They can get sunburnt. They will kind of turn pale yellow if they do get a little bit of sunburn. But they come back, they will survive. Just get them out of that direct sunlight and they'll come right back. For the type of soil you're going to want to have it in, I always recommend a really loose soil, preferably something that's probably a little sandier, because they like well-draining soil. They don't really like soil that's going to hold on to water for a very long period of time. These are a very, very drought-tolerant plant, and when I say drought-tolerant, like you can forget to water them for some time and they aren't really going to show you any repercussions. For my Sansevierias in my home, during the summertime, I will water them once every 2 weeks or once the soil has completely dried through. It usually is about every 2 weeks. In the wintertime, I will water them once a month. Again, I let them dry out completely before I give them any more water, especially in the wintertime, because they are not taking in anything extra like they would in the summer to get themselves to grow. They normally go dormant in the winter. They aren't going to die back, but they aren't going to necessarily be pushing out new growth until come springtime. Sorry about that. But now that you know all those easy facts about this plant, let's get into propagating this plant. There are 3 ways you could propagate this plant. You could do it by a division of the plant. So let's say you have a mother plant and you have the baby pups coming off. You could break off the pup and then put that new pup into its own pot. You could take a rhizome of the plant, which is the base of the plant, and you could put it in water or dirt, set it on top of dirt, and it should push out new growth spots and grow from that. And you could also take a cutting of the leaf. You want to take, I would always take one of the more mature leaves, preferably one of the taller ones. You'll cut it back down by the base, and then I always recommend cutting a diagonal kind of into the bottom, like a triangle, if you know what I mean. So you can stick it in water and the roots will then come out there. This plant does not get very many pests. If it does get pests, you're probably just going to be getting mealybugs, or I read that weevils could get to it, but I have not ever had pests on mine. Cross my heart and hope that I don't have any now, but not a lot of pests for this one. One last thing about this plant, and then I think I'm going to wrap up this video about the Sansevieria laurentii. This plant is toxic. It is only toxic by ingestion, so I always just recommend don't let your dogs eat it or break off pieces and lick it. Same with your kids. They can touch it all they want. It's not going to hurt them, but if they were to ingest it, they might get a stomach ache, and I believe it's just a stomach ache. But again, I don't recommend eating it. Don't eat it. Don't eat your plants unless they tell you you can eat them. But this is me. I messed up. But this is me telling you, don't eat the plant. Don't eat the plant. But again, thank you for watching my video. That was all the care tips on this beautiful Sansevieria laurentii, at least all the information that I know on it. I'm not a plant expert. I learn something new every single day about every plant that I take into my home, and that's what I like, and that's what I'm here to share with you guys. I want to hopefully provide you a little bit more information. Let me know another plant that you may have questions on, and I will do I'm obviously going to be doing a different plant the next video that I do for PlantCare. So let me know which plants you may want some information on, and I will try to direct those first. Thank you.